Hello all, and welcome back to Small Grid Only. Today we are going to be traveling towards the moon. We're going to start our journey, and we already have an unknown signal spawned, so we're going to go pick that up right away. It spawned right as I logged in today, so I don't even have my tools yet. Let's go see if that has some good materials. Oops, I bumped into it. Well, it doesn't have thruster components, so it's not a great find, but it does have an antenna. And a few other odds and ends on it. And of course it has one of those. One more parachute for the collection. Alright, we're going to clean up our waypoints a little bit. We are coming from the construction site, which is about 5 kilometers away, and our first stop is going to be the station that's over here in Earth orbit, and then after that we are going to head the rest of the way around towards the moon. So we're going to fly from the cockpit of one of our ships, which will work just fine, I think. Let's get rid of these waypoints real quick. The only one we want is our destination. We will stay orientated this direction with the Earth below us. So if we ever end up in Earth gravity, we can thrust out of it with our large hydrogen thrusters that are pointing down on the ship that I am driving in. We'll probably just get right up to speed, heading straight for this thing, and then we're going to glide. We're going to just turn our inertial dampeners off. We will have to pay close attention to planetary gravity though, because if we end up hitting it, which we probably will if we go straight towards us, because we're not far out of it right now, and we're going to skim probably through it to get to the station. So we'll have to angle out a little bit. I think I might just do that preemptively. Might just aim like up here. Yeah, we should be fine if I aim up here. We're going to have to turn at some point then, but it's not the worst. Alright, we're at max speed. We can glide at this speed for quite some time. Alright, so we're going to start slowing down here. We're going to park a little ways off from this. Guess we're going to end up a little closer than we intended to. Perhaps we should just drift all the way in. Turn the inertial dampeners off and we will approach slowly from here. We'll slow down a little bit more, make sure that we're aiming directly at the thing so that we can kind of just bounce off of it when we get inside the zone. Alright, in the safe zone. We're going to go for just a little bounce. It'll save us some fuel. Hopefully we don't explode too hard. Okay, that wasn't bad. Let's go to the other side. Let's attach like adults and use our ship properly. Takes a little more fuel to do it this way, but it's going to be preferable. Alright, we made it to our first space station. Let's see what we got in here. Some acquisition contracts. The search contracts will be easy to do in space. I can just do those in my spacesuit. So it might be a decent way to make some cash real quick. Shouldn't be terrible. If I do them in my spacesuit though, it's going to be, ooh, ammo. This is actually pretty, ooh, oh my gosh, I need one. I need one of these so bad. The elite grinder. I have trash grinders still, and I've been building with a trash grinder this entire time. Oh my gosh. Alright, so we're going to be doing some of these missions. Search mission. Accept. I'm just going to accept them all. might have been unwise, but we just did it. Take our tools with us. I gotta visit this unknown signal on my way. Not bad. Parachute, which I can't get anywhere else. Some other small stuff. Didn't have thrusters on it, unfortunately, so couldn't get better resources. Hey, there's another beacon here. ROCS beacon. Dang, I don't even have the waypoint for that. Just found another NPC station for free. Excellent. At this point, I spent a little while flying around and looking for packages, but I quickly found out that it is nearly impossible in a spacesuit to find them because you fly to where it says it is and then you have to look all around, and there's just no good way of seeing them. They're tiny and you're in space and it's dark, and I couldn't find any. So I flew back to the station to pick up my small ship, my lifter ship. I figured with that I would get the automatic pop-up with the white circle around a grid when I got close to him, and that was completely true. It totally trivialized the process, and I was able to fly around really quickly and pick up all the packages. Alright, we actually ended up completing all those missions. That was a lot easier with the ship. It's basically trivial if you have a ship to point out exactly where they are. So we did use some fuel, but we got a whole bunch of money and we should be able to buy the grinder now. Hey, unknown signal. Excellent. This gave me a tool too. And of course we're going to take the canvas, all the parts, and now back to going to the station. Really? I can merge block in the safe zone. That's supposed to be turned off. But I guess small grids can merge block in the safe zone, but big grids can't. That's really interesting. I did not know that. Learning something new. We have to reattach our connector though. Those things time out after 15 minutes. That's why I usually don't leave my ship like that. I usually use some sort of claw to attach to the station. Speaking of which, I should build one of those so that I can park more permanently in a place like this without worrying. Alright, sell me the grinder. Buy one of those. Oh, something else I didn't do. I didn't actually raid this place for all the stuff in its inventories. Let's go do that right away. I guess there really wasn't that much to loot in this station, unless I missed something obvious. We're going to buy one of these rifles just because we can, and they're really cheap. We're actually just going to buy a couple of them. Maybe someday we'll find a place that has ammo for them, and we will get more use out of them. Buy 4 of them. They are super cheap, so it's not hurting me at all. This is a pretty good station. It has a lot of stuff. It has fuel, lots of tools, ammo, weapons. Oh wait, this is, oh my gosh, I can buy metal grids here. Can I just buy all of them? How many can I buy? 10? 20? How much money do I have? We're gonna buy as many as I possibly can. 32. Alright. That's 32 more metal grids than we had when we got here, so that's super good. I don't feel so bad about blowing up my thrusters the other day now. Pretty much just bought back everything that I destroyed. Now if I can buy a bunch more of those, I could actually build my drive module, because that was what was limiting me. I didn't have the metal grids. So we are going to do a bunch more missions and try to buy a bunch more metal grids. First things first though, I'm going to pull my ship out of the safe zone, and then I'm going to build a grappling arm so that I can grapple onto the station and keep myself from getting knocked out of it. I'll be much safer staying in the area for an extended period. It looks like a price tag. Gosh, It looks super silly. It doesn't look like a claw at all, but that's what we're going to use. And we'll attach to the station with it. It's functional. Maybe we'll make something that looks nicer at some point, but for now this will do. Alright, now we just have our hinge lock, and because we can't take damage, no one can ever knock us out of here. So that is good. Let's get this unknown signal. Oh no, never mind. It spawned on the surface of the planet. We're not going down there for that. Let's get a bunch more search contracts and fulfill those, and then buy more metal grids. Try to ricochet nicely this time so we don't go flying out the other side. Perfect. Oh, we can buy another 43 metal grids. That's really good. We almost have enough to build another ship. I would like to definitely upgrade some stuff. It takes 22 to build a large hydrogen thruster for small grid ships. So I'm going to need quite a few of them to make a module with one of those going in each direction. I would really like 2 going forwards and 2 going backwards. So we'll probably have to farm this quite a bit to get that going. And that's basically all I did for the next couple days. I logged in, got some missions, completed them. I did end up going and visiting the other station over there, but turns out it sells ships at astronomical prices and doesn't buy anything that I can make. So I really didn't go back there very often. Occasionally I would go back there to complete missions for that station while the other ones were resetting, but it was not very useful other than that. I also picked up a whole bunch of unknown signals over the course of the couple days, and I decided that I wasn't ever going to park my station at the other station when I was going to log out. I'd park there while I did my missions, but I didn't ever want to leave it there long term because people will find it eventually and I don't want people to know where I am. And also, for some reason, parking like that at stations is frowned upon on a lot of servers. Now, I don't know what the moderators on this server particularly would have thought about it, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. So I parked not in a safe zone, which is kind of a contradiction, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Well, I've been staring at this a while, and I even drew up some preliminary plans for building a drive module, but now I'm kind of thinking I want to do something different. This always happens. I like plan well and prepare things, and then I get into the game and I just want to do something else. So yeah, we're going to kind of wing it again, I think, for this module. First things first, we're going to get rid of this. Oh, that was so much faster than it has been in the past. Gosh, that was nice. Alright, so I was going to build a drive module that stuck off the side, and then I drew up plans for it. I'm like, this could actually double as a ship really well. And now I got in game like, why would I build a drive module and then, or a flight module, and then build like a bridge module? Why wouldn't I just build a drive/bridge module that can double as a ship with an interior? And I didn't think of a really good reason why I shouldn't just do that. So I think that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to wing it because I don't feel like drawing more plans. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the back be attached, and then you will walk in the back of the ship, walk up to the front, and you'll be able to drive it from there. On the left and the right side, I will have a bunch of tanks and thrusters. That's where all the thrusters and tanks will go. And I have to have it that part forward enough that the thrusters don't burn stuff that I put behind here. So let's just lay some stuff out. We're going to build it just straight off of this. Oh my gosh. That's the one problem. When the fast grinder is nice, but when it gets stuck grinding, it can blow through blocks really quick. Alright, we have energy. And I had some time to think about this. I'm thinking it would be kind of interesting to do a slightly different structure this time. Just to change things up, what if I put this one on like that, and then we use one of these guys, because that'll be floor level. And what if we put our big cargo here? So it's like, it's inside the ship kind of, and you have to walk around it on the inside. I think that would be interesting. That would also allow us to be kind of higher off the ground here. I think it'll make just for a more interesting ship shape. Definitely not the most streamlined ship shape, but an interesting one. And that also lets us then go for a survival kit right around here. So if we put our survival kit like that, when we walk into our ship, we will walk in through an airlock here. Oh, I don't have gravity. We'll see the cargo. We can access the cargo right away, or we can turn, go around the cargo, and then we're in the front part of the ship, and we have survival kit right here. Now, how are we going to get our hydrogen out to the sides, our hydrogen tanks? I kind of would like them to be centered around maybe like this level. Like that would be kind of nice. 1, 2, 3, 4 wide there. Let's just say we're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 wide here as well. And that'll be the interior space. Go forwards a little bit. Maybe even have a separated bridge area for this. That's even further forwards. And now this seems really kind of bulky here. If I don't have the rest of the ship needs to come down now. Like the rest of the ship needs to be down here for the most part. And I think that would look kind of nice if the rest of the ship is at that height. I could make some stairs. I could have you go down some stairs. So like down, down, down. And then you end up down at this level. Something like that. Now we've got our survival kit kind of just like hovering in the air though. We could put the survival kit facing the back hatch and then have the staircase coming around this side. And then it would be fine for the survival kit to be up high like that. Winging it always ends up having much more interesting designs. They're usually not as good in the sense that they're not as streamlined, but I really like uniqueness in my builds. But I think that'll work. That'll bring us down to this floor. We're going to need so many metal plates. It's starting to look kind of cool. You have no idea how tempted I am to take this into creative and just build the dang thing in creative. Oh, it would be so much faster and the results would be better. But we're not going to do it. Resisting temptation. I don't know if the results would be better. The results would probably be different though, because it would get done a lot faster. The results might actually be worse because I get done faster and I'm not forced to spend as much time thinking about it as I am if I just do it in slow mode. And slow mode definitely was the name of the game for this build. It took me about 100 hours and a week more of build time to complete this ship. So instead of walking through that step by step, we're going to go with a quick recap of the different days and what I got done as we go. So, day 2. First thing I noticed was that I was completely out of metal plates. and we hadn't actually done any mining in space, so I decided to finally get around to putting that drill on the lifter ship and putting a whole bunch of little holes in the asteroid we were on. I also noticed after that I didn't have materials that I couldn't build, so I had to take the whole place back to the station and run a whole bunch more missions and get a whole bunch more of that. While I was there, I decided to rebuild the docking claw, and I decided to go with something that would attach to the railing area right above the connectors. So here's a quick image of that. After getting a bunch of materials from the NPC station, I decided to move the small grid station to a new asteroid about 30 kilometers away. On the way, I actually ran into an ice asteroid, so with my new drill set up on the lifter ship, I mined a whole bunch of ice for the first time in space. That was really good. After that, I continued off and found a tiny little asteroid to park on, and that is going to be the build location for the rest of this project. Day 3, I finished off the layout of all the major functional blocks of the ship, so all the things with conveyors and different stuff like that, and a lot of the batteries and thrusters, and kind of a rough shape of how the drive pods were going to be on the sides. I also worked on fleshing out the shell shape, so the hull shape of the ship, trying to get a rough estimate of how much interior space I was going to have and what that was going to look like overall. Day 4 was spent calculating out exactly what I was going to need for thrusters for this ship. I decided that I was going to have atmospheric thrusters as well as our hydrogen thrusters. So I went ahead, figured out exactly what I needed for all that, placed them all in, redid all the drive pods, and then did a first pass on the detailing of the exterior shell. Day 5, I started off by completing the detailing of the exterior, added a whole bunch of texture to it, which really broke up the blocky nature of it. And then I moved on to interior detailing. I added a bathroom, worked on a whole bunch of the block naming, which I was now able to do because I had my drive pods somewhat sorted out and I could detach from the station and move it around a little bit on its own. So got all the naming done for that. A lot of what I did this day is the really tedious stuff that you don't really see, but it's an integral part of the whole shipbuilding process. So renaming blocks, working on control groups and setting up cockpits and all the different things like that. It takes forever to do, but it really finishes off the ship nicely. So I did all of that, and I tried to place every single block that was going to eventually be on the ship. I ran out of construction components entirely once again during this process, but I did get almost everything placed that I wanted. And with that, we got to day 6, which was our final day of building. Because I was completely out of materials, I had to go back to the station, run a whole bunch more missions to get any of the things I couldn't build. Did a whole bunch of mining as well to get the metal plates that I needed to finish things off. And I finished welding the ship. And boy, was that satisfying. It took so long to do, but I was really happy with the result. So we're going to jump right back into the video, and this was the point when I named the ship, so I'll just give that to you firsthand. Also, with doing all of the decorating of various different things, I decided on a name for this. I'm going to call this ship the Dawn because we are finally doing something new. The sun is rising on a new era. This ship is the first ship that we built primarily from stuff that we farmed ourselves. Either from grinding rocks with another ship or from doing missions for a station and buying all the pieces. So it's built out of a lot of pieces that I can't make myself, but I obtained them through my own means without stealing them. So it's our first properly built ship that wasn't stolen, essentially, which is kind of cool. And we're also going to be kind of changing the pace of our gameplay, changing what we're focusing on now that this is built. We're going to be focusing on traveling and exploring again. That's kind of what we were doing in the first couple episodes out of necessity. Now we're just going to be doing it for fun though, so it's going to be a little bit different. And with that, let's have one final comprehensive tour of the ship as it stands right now. I'm going to enter our station through the back like we always do. Save some air. These doors are now automatically closed behind me, which is really nice. Entering through here, this hallway I guess serves as an extra airlock, but the first thing you enter in the Dawn is a hallway / airlock. So come in here. This can be set to pressurize or depressurize, and that kind of keeps this room, I usually just leave it on depressurize so that when I'm going out of the ship I'm not losing my air. Got a couple benches here. These benches kind of just make it easy for me to hop in the ship real quick, sit down, and recharge, so I don't have to walk all the way up to the main flight seat, which is quite a ways away and a lot of doors. And this way I don't have to like pressurize and depressurize this room constantly. I actually haven't set up these sensors yet, but I'm going to set these all up to close the doors whenever you exit their sensor range. So I'll make the sensor range basically in the plane of the door, and then when you walk into it, nothing will happen, but when you walk out, the door will close behind you. So like, I don't mind opening doors, but I don't like turning around and close. I guess a couple of these are set up. This one doesn't seem to be set up, but this one's set up because that door is closing behind me. But yeah, that's what that's for. On the left side here, we have a bathroom, and I do have a timer block set up to automatically close all my doors. The bathroom is pressurized. It also has a little bit of elevator music for you to listen to while you do your business. It's kind of nice. I know this isn't really a realistic bathroom style for space, but I had to do something with this area over here. Eventually I might turn this into something more useful. Man, this door really likes closing. But for now, we've got a somewhat decorative bathroom. Yeah, look at that. It's just privacy, I guess. Privacy. So we enter the ship here, and we've got 2 large cargo containers. We have our cargo access. I really wanted to access from in this room to cargo, but there's really not much need for it. I used to have access here, but having the vent there makes a lot more sense. Because if you are in this room, you're one doorway away from having access here, and if you're outside, you don't even have to come in to get access. Right below the door here is the connector, so you can access the cargo from there. All of those access large cargo, and all large cargo can get passed to anything you really need. Right here we've got a couple buttons I set up. This is just turn the survival cut on and off so I can respawn elsewhere if I ever want to. Gyroscopes. Gyroscopes actually take power even when they're in idle mode, so it's good to have a button to turn the gyroscopes on and off. And then the non-essentials thing is just all the lights and different things like that that I don't really need on when I'm logging out. Got our cryo sleep. Got 2 cryo sleep in case I ever do get visitors. It's always nice to have 2. And if I ever built this ship in something else, I always take blueprints of stuff, so if I build this ship somewhere else, now I have a blueprint for that. Coming into the front here, we have our main flight area. Got a couple bulletin boards on either side. I have plans for these. Not entirely certain what I'm going to do with that one, but this one, I'm going to have our list of places that we've been, places that we're going to go. I'll probably make this look nicer in the future, and this will probably be something. No, not entirely certain. A logo or something. This is our main flight area. What our ship looks like completed here. It's decent from the outside. I'm going to go ahead and unmerge this real quick. Just slide it forward a tiny bit. And then we can actually look at the stats of the ship. So we've got, it's almost 10,000 PCU at the moment. A little over 3,000 blocks. We have reactors. The reactors are not built yet because it's like the one thing I don't have materials for yet. I don't have reactor components, and we don't have uranium anyway, but hopefully we'll be able to find some soon or buy some and finish off these reactors. But everything else on here is pretty much complete. We have a ton of gyroscopes. We have quite a few batteries because we are planning to use atmospheric thrusters, and it takes a lot of batteries to do something like that. And if I have extra batteries, then we can fly extra long on those types of things. We do have parachutes. They are in the little pontoons. Kind of quite a few of those actually. Let's see, what do we have for engines and tanks? We have 4 hydrogen engines on this bad boy, and we have 4 hydrogen tanks, 1 oxygen tank. This oxygen tank is hooked up so that you can push bottles in and out of it. Got quite a few O2 generators. I have to make sure these are off all the time, otherwise they drain all my power. It's pretty annoying. Yeah, 2 large cargo containers. couple guns on the sides, a bunch of thrusters. It's pretty simple, and I tried to keep it as low PCU as possible by only using large thrusters and using as little conveying as possible. I probably could do this door thing with fewer sensors to save some PCU, but it'll work nicer with 3, so we're going to do 3. I do have a little bit extra lights on here, that's for sure, but you got to make the place look nice. I'm going to be living in this for a while, so pretty decent ship. I'm really happy with how it's turned out so far. It's definitely going to get upgrades as we go, so if you think of an upgrade that it could really use, drop that in the comments. That'd be cool. Always happy to hear good ideas. And yeah, that's going to be it. That's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.